Welcome back to Does It Sing with David Goldsmith and Friends.
Our chers lovers of musicals, it is with deepest pride and greatest pleasure that we welcome you to our humble podcast. And now we invite you to relax, pull up a chair, and ask yourself these three basic questions. Does it sing? Do I care? Why this show? Why now, mon frère? These three questions are the best when you decide, should I go there? Every show is a fight. It takes years to get it right. Is there conflict? Is there tension? Are the stakes too low to mention? First assess your milieu. Is there too much work to do? Will it bring the raison that it needs to bring? Nail down the atmospherics, then we'll craft some lyrics. Should it be? Do we care? Does it sing?
So, all right, let's have the conversation you want to have. Wow, we could go on about Who Needs Love. What do we want to say about Who Needs Love? Other than it's another great moment that has, I mean, you know, in its earliest incarnations that I remember, it was pretty much, you know, it emerged fully grown and on its horse. Like, I don't remember a lot of big changes, you know, over the years. It's basically withstood the test of time.
Who needs love? Love is just distraction. Love is just a reason for forgetting all your cares. I ask you, who needs love? Love brings satisfaction. Love's another word for being bored in pairs. Who needs love? Really, when you think, I've got pigs to feed and there are dishes in the sink, and I've got bread to bake and horse manure to shove. Really, when you think about it, who needs love? Who needs love? Love's for other people, all the other people who have nothing else to do, so they go 2 by 2 underneath the steeple. I would think about that twice if I were you. Why let go? Why surrender trust? A knight in shining armor is just one more thing to dust, and I've got lots of dust that needs disposing of. Really, when you think about it, who needs love? Love and its blazing fire, and its wild desire, and its drunken haze. Love and its sweet embrace, and its joy and yearning. You can keep your joy and yearning. I've got porridge and it's burning. Who needs love? Who needs someone handsome? Handsome, funny, brave, and smart, intelligent and kind, and brave and smart and kind. Did I mention handsome? Fine, if he were handsome, then I wouldn't mind. And if he should come knocking at my door, take me in his arms and make me learn what life is for, and have the kind of soul that hits me like a glove. Tell him thanks a lot, but really, tell him thanks a lot, but really, tell him thanks a lot, but really, who needs love? I suppose there are times when lying in the meadow, swimming in the river, thoughts might cross my mind. Or maybe once in a while, when I'm simmering the stew, or sewing on the curtain, or watching you. You need love, love that sends you reeling, love that sneaks behind you, that it knocks you off your shoes. Believe me, you need love. Love's a wondrous feeling. Love, my friend, is just another thing to lose. And then Danielle has a meaningful scene with her servant, but we cannot do that in an LA cabaret. So we're just going to ask you to go with us, imagine the setting, and bring you on back to the chorus. Who needs love? Love that lasts forever. Love that's real and messy and passionate and tall. I ask you, who
these are stress tests when we go back to a piece of material. This is one of the songs that is part of the foundational story of how the show's endured, because it's one of the pieces that has, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, has changed very much, if at all, other than in the interlude, sort of who sings what, which is a function of what's happening, with the narrative outside of it. But the actual.
Oh, I've got news for you.
Oh, okay, let's hear it.
So, for Phoenix, we've been trying some different things, and Who Needs Love has always been song number 2, the I Want song, or in this case, the I Don't Want. And this is one of those songs, as I said before, where I betray what the lyric is saying. She's saying, I'm not interested in this at all. And there's just something I can't even put my finger on it, what that is. But certainly in the bridge, you can hear her be very rhapsodic about it. And something changes for her then when she's making fun of it. But she's kind of like, I think there's some, she taps on some real stuff. And then she's like, nope, not going to discuss this now. But we have moved that song.
I love this.
And this was a hard thing to do. This was a very hard thing to do. These are your babies. And you're like, no, my baby should be, dressed like this and whatever. And then all of a sudden.
Dressed in second song of the show.
Dressed in second song of the show. And now all of a sudden, she has met the prince. And she hears that Marguerite did really well at the meet and greet, where he's looking for Danielle and everything. But apparently Marguerite does pretty well and dances with the prince and everything. And Danielle hears about this, and she is none too pleased. So she's like, "Fine, that's fine. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care at all." And so when she sings "Who Needs Love," we know what her feelings are. We've seen what her feelings are, and so it's. When we had it in song 2, she was talking about love in a very when I say non-specific, she didn't know what was coming her way, but I guess she hoped for love in some way, but in its incarnation now, she is speaking very specifically about a love that she has already felt. And we had to write something for Henry because she's in the woods somewhere. And then we're going to see Henry with all his questions and everything. And then they're going to meet again. They're going to stumble upon each other. So we had to write something kind of charming and interesting for him. And then we put the two things together.
Before we do this, so this, obviously, is this the first time we're hearing this motif, or is this an echo from an earlier part of the show?
This is the first time we're hearing this.
So this is the new, okay, great, love it.
Henry, sings later about all my life, my head's been filled with questions. So we made him this person who's always asking questions and not necessarily listening to the answers. So during these little breaks in between, Leonardo offers some advice and some whatever, and Henry's just off in his own, world. Thank you. Here is what I wonder. Is there just one person truly meant to be? I choose to believe that, Your Highness. And yet, what if that one person never passes by you? Maybe passes by you, but you are too blind to see. I don't think it works that way. But I could see why do. And yet, here is what I wonder. What if fortune smiles and you take each other's hand? And suddenly she's hit by lightning. Tell me now what happens then. Or do you get to meet someone new? For the moment, let's call her number 2. Is it true that's true, or is one the one? But your love for one by the gods was done. Now what do you do? Do you marry 2, or be true to one? They were walking side by side, and the first one hadn't tragically died in a lightning strike. Which one do you like? Which one's meant to be? It's a mystery. This is where they go together. It's loving, they're just one person. Truly That's how they go together. And
I
it's,
love that.
it's really fun because we never really anticipated writing something like this or something that would go on top of it. And I have to say, I love this little thing he's doing. It's just so him, and she's so her, and then they bump, and on the button of this song they're like, you, and of course hilarity ensues and love ensues. And
But isn't it interesting from, that first bit of melody 20 years ago, Zina at 20 years ago is now Zina at 20 years later, putting something on top of it to bring this whole thing together. Do you feel like Zina of 20 years ago would have been able to do that? Or do you think that it's been, the 20 years of just like, now I have the objectivity and the skill and the experience to have actually been able to bring this home in this way?
I could have done it back then. I'm doing it differently than I would have done then.
Interesting. How?
And that's really kind of fun. I mean, for one thing, we were in the rehearsal studio. We were at Open Jar, and we're sitting on the floor, and Marcy's got a lyric for me. And so I'm postulating all of this in my mind, which is, without a keyboard, it's really interesting because your mind is much freer to try other things. And when you're on the keyboard, your fingers tend to go to your favorite places, So like the Zina chord, right? 2-5-1 to the minor, to the lower minor. So doing something where you're thinking about it all, I can hear all this stuff in my head. I mean, I can hear a whole orchestra in my head, but and that's the fun of it. So, and then you get to the piano and you're like, does this work as well as I thought it did in my head? You never know.
And it did.
I think so. I mean,
I love it.
Thank you. I'm excited about it, and we had such wonderful actors singing it, and it was really exciting to hear it for the first time put together. Especially, remember, song number 2, our baby, the one that everybody knows. So we took out some of those other sections, and we wanted to make sure we kept the integrity of the original song, and then added Henry to the party.
But this is what I always say. The integrity of the original song is such an important phrase. If we're working correctly and we're focused on, we have a strong idea that we develop correctly and with structural integrity, you should be able to move it wherever you need to move it, and with very minor adjustments. Right. Or as you've done here, with a complete overlay of something else. It can still work in its own, and it's doing that.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing, but this is why we get the big bucks, right?
Yeah, that's why we get the big bucks. But it is why it takes so long, and yes. It is why when you go to see a show at your level, when you go to see a Broadway show and it's working, the ones that work, they carry with them this visceral degree of development. You feel it in your bones when something has been worked out to the level you've worked these things out, and when something's just been of the moment. Oh my God, it got someone's attention. It was a shiny new thing, and we threw it up literally and figuratively onto the stage, and you can tell the difference. And it's those that are that combination of inspiration, spontaneity, and wisdom and experience. Right. That's how you get a moment like that.
I think also the willingness to try it. And I don't say that lightly, because let's face it, if they're your babies, I mean, half the time you're like, I can't change that. I'm not going to change that. I refuse to change that. Could I change that? It's like you really do have to say, I mean, what I always say about trying something different is, look, we have the song the way it exists. It can go back to the way it was at any moment. So there's really no harm in trying, and you might find an even better idea. So you should always, always try for something different or better, because again, if it's not different or better, you can always go back to what you had.
You can always go back to what you had, and you will, I'm sure you'll agree. Most of the time, when you do try the other thing, you will discover things about the thing you had that you want to maintain, even if you do go back to the thing you had.
That's right. That's right.
Do you also find, and I find this, that I would say 9 times out of 10 or 20 times out of 21, when you've cut something, when you have the right reason for cutting something, you never think about it again and go back to it. Even the thing that you love, that once it's gone, most of the time, you don't miss it. And that's absolutely the way to know you've made the right decision. If you miss it, then there's something to look at. But
Right.
I find that most of the time, when I've cut it, I don't think about it anymore. I'm just making what is now part of the show work. Is that your experience?
For the most part, I mean, I think you often wonder, hey, could this have worked, or should we try it, or you just again, you don't know. One night try it this way, and one another night try it another way. I mean, you definitely know when something doesn't work. So
Right.
if you're wrong about it, and you put the new thing up, or you put the new thing up and it doesn't work, and you go back to the other thing,
Well,
that's
and
okay.
things work out of
For the most part,
context. You know,
right, though.
there'll be things that won't work that will work on their own, that just now that you've created a new context for it or the story's doing a different thing, the song itself can be great, but it just
Right.
doesn't work anymore in the show.
Yeah, I mean that is a big problem sometimes. Sometimes it's one of your best songs and you're like, "We have to use this song." And then it doesn't work there anymore, or it needs to be something else, or we have to move it because X, Y, or Z. And then by the way, so the extension of this discussion is, so what do you put in for song 2?
That
Right?
that did occur to me.
You've removed your big hit song number 2.
Your I Want.
Yes, your I want, and you can't have her talk about that same want. It's got to be something different because she will talk about that want later on. So you can't undercut it, and this is very complicated. And we're slogging through the mud right now, and we're pretty happy with the direction we're going in. We're trying something really unusual, and the it's unusual music for me. You remember how I told you I don't move around too much and everything.
Yeah,
On this particular song, I'm moving all over the place,
love it.
like a busy person would. She's different in this scene now. She's just a little different, and she's talking to a dress.
Love it. I've read this. I haven't heard it, but I've read it.
I can't play it yet. It's not fully formed, but it is. But it's exciting what it could be.
Well, when I read the script, I there were many moments that I had not heard the music for yet. That are new music that I haven't heard yet. But the one thing I didn't worry about was that Zina Goldrich would be able to figure it out. I know you will always, always figure it out.
Thank you.
I have one. Oh, go ahead.
I have my doubts. I mean, every so often I'm like, you do wonder, like, am I going to be able to come up with something new or fresh here, or something that's going to please me as much as this other one did, or that kind of thing. And eventually you do. They're all your children, they're all your babies, and
But you have a skill set that is unerring, and it will never fail you because it's a part of you. It's like it's in your DNA, and you've also worked at it and you've developed it over the course of a career, a storied career with an incredible body of work behind it. So if you I know we all get to that moment where like, am I going to be able to figure this out? But you know that you have the tools.
it's funny because I've been doing more teaching over the past few years, and um, it's funny to be giving advice now, or
Yeah.
to be talking about process to younger writers, because I was doing all those things in the beginning, but I don't think I had words for it as I do now. A lot to say about a lot of things, but and so it's interesting to me though, like to go back. It was actually a very interesting exercise to go back and analyze something I wrote when I was very young, and kind of say, what was I doing here? Because I know I wasn't thinking about it in a theoretical sense. And I had a lot of music theory growing up, but that stuff goes away when you're for me, when you're writing a song. It's only how the chord makes you feel. And if the chord doesn't make me feel the right way, I try another chord. I try other things. And I always know when I've landed on something I like, and then I go back to my, recording. And because sometimes you're playing something and you don't know what you did, but you know it was right. So you go back, and because you're in another world, you're thinking about so many other things, but you're not thinking about, chord names and that kind of stuff. I love doing it. What can I say? I've devoted my life to it.
You really, and I know you say, well, you have music theory and you train, you're not thinking about it. You don't have to think about it, but it is important that it's there, right?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I learned it at a young enough age that I really could forget about it. And it's all in there. I can talk about this, in a very nerdy, granular music way. And that's really great, especially when somebody really wants to know exactly what you're doing. And it's like, but half the time, not half the time, all the time, I just don't think about it like that. Sometimes I know I need a substitution for this chord, or I need that,
Yes.
I can go in an intellectual way to the places where you would normally go. What? How about this chord for a substitution? Like a tritone substitution or something like that. So
Try to imagine those moments when you sit behind a new thing and you're thinking, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Imagine not having that academic skill underneath you and having it all be about, am I going to be able to summon just, emotionally or from my hands, without actually understanding underneath it. I can go to some anatomy that I have and start there. Imagine how much more panicked you would be.
it's true. But it's interesting. I've stopped judging my first impulse, because quite often my first impulse feels emotionally true to me. That's like, so I may not keep the chord, I may not, the melody might not be right, but the feeling of it, like whether I just started, oh, how I loved you with that little figure, and then I developed that whole figure into something else. So that was probably one of the first things I played. And then I just kind of, well, why don't I play with this, and see where this takes me.
I should let you go. You've been just so incredibly, elegantly helpful, and I'm so grateful. But I do want to have one last sort of, not even a humble brag, but it's like a total brag, which is that you and I have actually written a song together, and I'm so proud of it. And I won't make you play it, but I will say, let's just talk about it for 2 seconds, and I can add it to the podcast later. But but you one week in September, a couple of years ago, you had a gig on a cruise ship, on a very beautiful cruise ship, and Marcy was unable to accompany you, and you asked me. So my wife and I and your sister and yourself went on this cruise ship, and we did your show. And at some point, we decided you should probably have an opening number for your show, because it's not going to be you and Marcy. It's going to be you and me doing stuff.
Right.
And was it you? Did you come up with, like you said?
I don't know if I think that I said, I think the show's going to be called Zina With A Z, right? Like,
Right.
I said I need like a Liza with a
Liza with a Z, but it's Zina with a Z.
Instead of, I need something like that, but for me,
But did you just say it's called that? And I said, well, we should write a song. And it's just like, because it's such a, honestly, it's like, there's Liza with a Z. We should not be writing a song like that. If it's Candor and Ebb, let's not fuck with Candor and Ebb. We're only going to come up short, but I gotta say, we did a really good job.
My parents saw themselves as creative. Their parents named them Sybil and Jim. So when it came to me, they got innovative. And when naming me came up with a whim, it's a moniker I wear with affection. It's a handle that zings, don't get me wrong. My one complaint would be it's constantly in need of correction. Hence this hopefully helpful song. My name is Zina with the Z. You see, not Tina with the T, cause T-I-N-A with the T is more conventional. Look, I love Tina with the T as much as Gina with the G, but similarities to me are unintentional. You see, with every dear barista who misspells it, I'd it's Zina with a Z, and you'll get them with thanks from me and Dad and Mom. Ooh. Imagine the ingrained apprehension approaching each security gate. The variants too numerous to mention for each waiting list and every first date. If you meet me, there's no need to be nervous. Just remember that Zima was a beer, and that I've likely spent the day correcting customer service. So, to make myself crystal clear, again, it's Zina with a Z, then with an I, not double E, and with an A as in Athena from mythology. And no, not Zina with an X, the warrior princess is a flex, and thanks, but Zina is the god of Scientology. For every man who calls me Zini, my contempt is far from teeny. I don't mean to be a meanie, but please, lest this disease become widespread, start with Zina with a Z. You'll be 20 steps ahead of gems like these. Decaf for Zini, green tea latte for Zeke, venti ice cream for Zena. They called me Zinda last week, and somehow Z-Rag, a girl no man would have fathered. Then just Z for the barista who cannot be bothered. Or just right, Zina with the Z, don't give me Dina with the D, cause D-I-N-A with the D is just confusing it. How hard is Zina with the Z? I mean, how simple could it be? Did I say simple? OMG, I'm really losing it. For seeming evil had no rival, I was named for Grandpa's Ival, so thank God I wasn't born a he or him. Then I'd be Zyval with a Z. What a nightmare that would be. So drink a venti toast to me and Mom and Jim. Please hear me, Zina. It's not Argentina. And what's this, Zita? Who am I, Evita? And don't brew up for me any more insanity. For now on, let me be Zina with a Z. It's easy, Z.
I love that song. I'm super proud of it. I'm sure we can find some sort of recording of it just for fun.
It was really fun to write with you because I gotta say it was just because I'd known you for so long by then, and you know, just to put down a really wordy patter song in front of Zina Goldrich, and then like have when you came back with that the first time. Honestly, I was just like, I was in heaven. It was just like, wow, Zina Goldrich just set my fucking patter song. Wow. And it's so her. And
What
it's,
is a clean patter song? I don't know. It's like, I guess it's
well, you have a very loquacious lyricist partner for the most part in Marcy. She's,
I guess, setting pattery songs all these years, you kind of learn how to do it,
and
And
what
it's fun. I mean, it can be, they're like a high wire act,
they are.
because you're like, are they going to remember these lyrics? Are they going to get through it? But boy, when you do, it's pretty exciting. I mean, I still panic when I sing Baltimore, and I still panic when I sing Zina with a Z. I do. I'm like,
Do we still
it's,
sing Zina with a Z? Is it? I'd hoped it would become like a cocktail party song for you when you
I know I want it to. It's just I really have to. I have to
gotta pull
keep
it
it up. Or when was the last time I was at a cocktail party with the piano? Zina, sit down and sing something.
Well, you and I are going to have to do another show where you can pull out Zina with a Z
I
again.
would love that. I
I'm
would love
really
it.
proud of it. Zina Goldrich, you've just been just musical theater heaven on earth. Thank you so much for joining us on the pod.
I love you, and I think this I'm gonna listen to all the other episodes because this is my jam, baby.
Comment,
Maybe
like, and
that.
subscribe. Zina, I love you. Thank you.
I love you. I hope that was okay.
Oh my God, it was above and beyond. It was, like I said, it was heaven. All right, we're saying goodbye,
Yes, I'm sorry.
but we can stay on.
I thought we already said goodbye.
Oh no, no. I mean, you know what I mean? I'll do a thing. There'll be music coming in underneath.
I'm like, yeah, exactly. Where it, sounds normal. Like I sound like a normal person.
Yeah. Most of them, I can edit around it. But let's just say, let's not say goodbye, but let's say goodbye.
Goodbye, sweetie.
Love you.
Love you.
And we're out.
Thank you for
Okay.
joining us for Does It Sing with David Goldsmith and Friends, a podcast from Virtual Stage Lab. Please like, subscribe, and share wherever you get your podcasts.
Does It Sing with David Goldsmith and Friends is a production of Virtual Stage Lab. Virtual Stage Lab was founded by Paul Gordon and David Goldsmith to create film captures of original musicals and plays to democratize how theater gets developed, seen, produced, and licensed for production. If you have a particular song, show, or story idea from a musical that you'd like to have David discuss, break down, and analyze whether or not it sings, please contact our Director of Marketing, Melody Munitz, at virtualstagelab@gmail.com. For more information and our catalog of original projects by David Goldsmith, Jane Eyre's Paul Gordon, Disney and Five Women at an Airport's John Cavanaugh, and others, go to www.virtualstagelab.com. Main title parody lyrics written and performed by David Goldsmith. End title music by Paul Gordon from the Gordon and Goldsmith musical My Improbable Sisters, starring Jenna Lee Rosen and Tony Award nominee Jasmine Amy Rogers, now available to stream for free on the Virtual Stage Lab page on YouTube. If you enjoyed what you heard today, please remember to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to whichever platform you're listening on, especially the David Goldsmith Lyrics page on YouTube. Thank you for listening. Welcome to the community. This has been Does It Sing with David Goldsmith and Friends.
David.
Doesn't have a friend.
Oh, come on, Mom.